What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Scene Snob Reviews. I am your host, Mick Manhattan, the Scene Snob, and just another review. So, last night I did Ip Man 4, the finale. So, go check that out. That's up on the site and YouTube channel and such. So, but this one is for Star Trek Picard, Episode 2 Maps and Legends. Just finished the episode, and I have to say, I was a little more disappointed in this episode. I really liked the first one coming out of the gate. I was really kind of enjoying where they were taking Picard with everything. And then this one kind of seemed to drag. And I understand that they're setting up a lot and they're getting ready, but it just also seems like they're very subdued in where they're at. Not really taking it anywhere just yet. Just kind of, and actually, it feels like they're kind of adding more on. They're piling on more and more, and it's kind of taken away from me. It got a little confusing at times because we're talking about Romulan secret police, and we're talking about these experiments that they're doing over in the Borg cube, which there's going to be some spoilers in this review, so but I'm going to try and keep them to a minimum so you can watch the episode. But if you don't want any spoilers, please check out the episode beforehand. And then come back, check us out. Also, give us a like and subscribe, and hit that notifications button because we have content coming out all the time, and lots of stuff to look forward to. So, and make sure you go check out thescenesnobs.com. That's where we have all of our shows, kind of the whole amalgamation of everything all together, the hub, if you will. And check it out and see what else we got going on. So, with that, kind of just getting into the episode. I'm not going to go over everything, but I am just going to talk about some things, because like I said, I didn't love the episode, but it does show promise, and is I'm hoping it sets up for a lot more than where it's at right now. So because like I said, it's like we're almost in two locations, Earth and the Borg cube, and we're not really going anywhere, and there's no real space travel. But of course, after saying that, this episode does open up on Mars in a shipyard. And it tells a story of like how the security detail in the shipyard was compromised, so that way the rogue synthetics can come in and decimate it, and that was by a worker synthetic, kind of going over, and he massacres everybody, all of his human counterparts in this hub that they work in, and then blows his own head off after he compromised security. So that kind of left it open. And then, so it's not officially, like, we don't know why we're getting glimpses now. Like, I kind of understood it in the first episode when I touched down on it, and it was like, okay, that's why synthetics are banned. Get it. But now they're showing us stuff, so it is exciting to see where that goes, and how much synthetics are playing into it. But why did they compromise the Mars shipyard? So it's called Europa, I believe it is. So going from there, we have Picard and Laris. That's the female Romulan that he lives with. She used to be a Romulan secret police, and she talks about this. I think it's this ultra black ops Romulan unit of the secret police that nobody knows about, and even she's kind of going off rumors that she heard just by working with the secret police, and that must be who attacked Dodge and killed her. But they do reveal that it wasn't their intentions to kill Dodge. That's just what happened by accident. They actually wanted to capture her, and they're thinking that it was her sister. So she is her sister, Dr. Asha, Soji Asha, which we get to too, is start a relationship with the nefarious Narek. So we're kind of trying to figure out like what his intentions are, but they all work together on this Borg cube, and we find out more about that. Like, so the Romulans are taking apart. This is essentially a Borg cube graveyard. Like, the Borg don't use it. They don't, as far as they're concerned, it's nothing. So there are members of the collective still on board, but they are deactivated, and the Romulans are taking the technology off of the bodies and saving them, and that's kind of like where they're at now. So Not much more to their plan is going on there. We do get Picard going to Starfleet. We get some very cool, the music, everything, like it all pays nice little homage to the Star Trek that we know and love. Of course, it goes. We get a shot of the Enterprise D in a hologram form. So 2 episodes, 2 shots of it. It was kind of beautiful to see. I really enjoyed it. Um, when we get Picard going to visit an Admiral Clancy, and she reams him out. Like he asks to be reinstated on a temporary basis to take a small ship and to go out and try and find Bruce Maddox. She reams him out for his hubris, because over his, saying that it's his hubris that's leading him to do this. And we kind of got a little more in the story there, why they left, why they were forced to leave behind, because the United Federation basically said, they are our enemies and we don't have any more ships, so leave the Romulans. Like, we can't help them anymore. We have these synthetic rogues attacking, so they blew up these ships that we were going to use to go and save the Romulans. So we don't have any more ships, so we just have to leave them. And that was where it was odds with Picard. So I could kind of see on both sides, like, whereas Picard was like, it's not the Starfleet we know, but the bureaucracy tied it up. But we've seen that in Star Trek before. Star Trek 6 was very similar. A lot of different, not just episodes, but the movies and such. The bureaucracy always kind of gets in the way. So when now going back and seeing that it's not Starfleet anymore, and he was yelling in during the interview, I'm like, yeah, it's always kind of been Starfleet. So that kind of took me out of it a little bit. But there's so much more going on. So he gets reamed out by this Admiral Clancy and denied. He goes back home. He finds out, and here's a big spoiler. So if you haven't watched the show, tune out now. 3, 2, 1. Picard is dying, and that's basically how they tell you in the show. So he meets with an old doctor that he had on the Stargazer, and he tells him, he's like, you're in perfect health, but you have something in your temporal lobe that it could kill you any moment. So that's just kind of how they play that out. And then we go on, and Picard, of course, is going to be Picard. He's going to do what he wants to do. He's going to find his own ship, and he's going because he feels he owes Data to look into this. He doesn't know where he's going. He doesn't know what he's looking for exactly. But it is Picard. He's going to put together his own crew. You even get character checked on it and ask, like, why don't you ask Riker? Why don't you ask Worf? Why don't you ask LaForge? And he's like, I can't ask them because they would absolutely do it based on loyalty. And I can't do it for that reason. And then he says, well, you need somebody who hates you. And then we finally get Picard going at the end of the episode to meet with a new character, and that we're going to probably hear about more next week on the next episode, so I'll get into that. But she basically seems like she hates him and has a gun pointed at him, but I have a feeling it's going to work out, because we've seen her on the ship with him in the trailers and such. So overall, the episode wasn't bad. There was one thing that really bothered me about the show, and I mean, I got it, and I know it was tongue-in-cheek, but at the same time, it's just the way it was written. It was like, you have a lot of sci-fi fans watching this. Star Trek is a sci-fi show. It is the mecca of sci-fi shows, if you will. Like, we have technology today based on things that we saw on Star Trek growing up. So when Alison Pill's character is reading, not reading, she's looking at a book of Picard's by Isaac Asimov. I didn't see which book it was, which novel, but Picard says something along the lines of like, oh, you're a big fan of the classics, aren't you? And he goes, I never really enjoyed science fiction. I never got it. And I was like, I knew it was a tongue-in-cheek, but at the same time, I was like, this is the mecca of science fiction shows, and you are a huge character in science fiction. Let's maybe not knock around on science fiction a bit, especially when your show is lacking in the science fiction department, in my opinion. So far, I'm sure it will go on, like I said, but as of right now, it's like, I know Picard's always been more, not science fiction type, because he lived in a science fiction world. I didn't need it pointed out to me. That was one thing I just didn't really enjoy. But overall, like, the episode wasn't bad, and it got me to wanting to still see the next episode and go on with the series. But it lacked compared to the pilot episode. And usually when I watch a show like and it's the second episode, I want it to be better than the first, and it usually is because they've now been approved and they have more freedom. But with this, it just I have a feeling the next episode is he's going to see Riker, he's going to go talk to him and such. Because then after that, they got to get to space sometime soon. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited, and I want to see where this series goes because it does show promise. Oh, big thing too is I kind of missed it, but I didn't really want to give it up. But we do get more of a background on Narek too, and what he's doing and how he's kind of tied in with Starfleet security through his sister, who is a Romulan undercover as a human working in Starfleet security. So that's as far as I'm going to get in there. I want you to go watch the episode so you kind of get an idea. So we do get some answers, but not a lot. It's just it's kind of feeding us just a little bit. So which is fine for a TV show, and I don't have a problem with that. But I just hope in the next episode it picks up the pace. It seemed very slow, and it kind of seemed out of order a little bit in this episode. But overall, I did like it. I didn't love it. I am looking forward to keep going though. So that's my review. Scene Snob reviews of Star Trek Picard Episode 2, Maps and Legends. So be back next week. I will have Episode 3, review for Episode 3, and I will so forth do that for the rest of the season. If you want to check out any other reviews I've done reviews of movies, TV shows, such. Like I said, last night I did Ip Man 4, the finale. Go check out. You can go to scenesnobs.com. Everything, like I said, is kind of hubs right there with links to everything. You can go check out some of our podcasts, Scene Snobs podcast, Marriage Like That podcast I do with Mrs. Scene Snob, my wife. Then we have the 20-Minute Wrestling podcast, if you're into wrestling, and so much more. We have a lot more shows coming out that, really looking forward to doing. And we got a lot of people coming in on mic and stuff with me, and we got a lot of interviews coming up too, because a lot of film festivals coming up. But let me know what you guys think. Give us a like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the Scene Snob, and go to the Facebook page, the Scene Snobs Facebook page, and just kind of let me know what you guys think of everything, or what you'd like to see. If you have any requests for reviews, stuff like that, I'm happy to do them. Looking forward to hearing from you though. Thanks very much, and take care.